I am so sorry, bro. I never meant to hurt you. I should have told you earlier. Brian said with a hoarse voice. The guest stared in shock. Confusion and disbelief battled on Erick's face. This is part 2 of the Walnut Stories tale of the Doomsday prediction. Mutaachana too. That's ni constant. That came true and DNA test results stopped our wedding right at the altar. No, 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 no. Someone tell me this is just a nightmare. I'll just wake up and it will all be good. This isn't happening. What the hell is this, Brian? What happened to our bro code? Erick asked, his voice trained with shock. The well of tears forming in his eyes threatened to spill. He looked skyward, catching them just in time. The hawk-eyed vultures moved closer for the kill, their cameras already rolling, catching every move and emotion, sharing it on their live feeds, battling for supremacy for likes and followers. Brian looked like a man standing before an oncoming metro train. Large drops of sweat were beaded on his face. He cleared his throat, stepping forward. Bro, I can explain. Erick moved backwards as if he had been slapped. Explain what? That Amani is not mine after all? That you're the father? Erick exploded. The shock of what he had just admitted, that the child wasn't his, shook him. He had never suspected it. But it all came back to him. There had always been that nagging intangible feeling that he couldn't place. How Amani bonded completely with Kevin, the uncanny resemblance in the way they laughed, the dimples, and how they walked. It's complicated, Brian replied. Erick's voice hardened. Make it simple. Make it make sense, man. Help me understand this, because I don't get it. I tried to tell you, bro. So many times. I didn't want you to find out years later, Brian said. Tasha, tell him, he said, turning to Natasha. It was the ultimate betrayal. Erick was the only one who used to fondly refer to the bride as Tasha. All eyes turned to the bride. Tasha's smile had frozen on her face like a mannequin as soon as the expose started. Her face had drained of all color as tears welled in her eyes. Babe, it was a one-time thing with Brian. This was way before we got serious. I found out I was pregnant later, but Brian convinced me he was not the father. Erick's fingers curled into fists. Don't babe me. A one-time thing? With my best friend? For how long has this been going on behind my back? Now I know why you convinced me to give Amani his middle name. You knew all along, Erick said, glaring at Natasha. I swear, babe, I didn't know Amani was Brian's child, Natasha replied. The beautiful, glowing bride had turned ghostly pale. One of her bridesmaids grabbed her elbow, trying to steady her, but Natasha snatched her hand away. I was going to tell you after the wedding, she added. You have let me raise Brian's child as mine for 4 years, and you wanted to tell me after the wedding? Erick shouted at her. There were screams of anguish from relatives. The politicians and other distinguished guests slipped out quietly. Babe, I didn't want to lose you, Natasha whispered. You didn't want to do what now? Erick shook his head and turned to Brian. You've been in my house, ate my food, and played with the money. Bro, all this time, why didn't you come to me with this earlier? Did you have to wait till today? Till now? Brian took a cautious step forward. Bro, I swear, I thought... I am sorry, he said, extending his hand. Tasha's flood of tears couldn't be restrained, as she too reached for his arm. Babe, please, I love you. We can fix this. Erick Smith stepped backwards. Don't dare touch me. Fix what now? You lied to me for years. You both did. Erick laughed bitterly. You've betrayed me for years. I don't want anything to do with both of you. Brian's shoulders sagged. I've always suspected it, man. I just wanted to be sure. I've grown to love Amani and didn't want to lose him. Erick continued laughing bitterly. You loved him? Brian, it's been years. Why wait till today of all days? Sasi hata ungenishow mapema bana, he said, walking away. Hii ni aibu kubwa sana umetuletea kwa familia yetu Nyawira. I didn't raise you this way, Natasha's mother shouted while clicking. Her father, a stern retired judge, pulled her aside and said, This is so shameful. You've disgraced us all. Why didn't you own up to this earlier? He said. Just then, Erick's mother stepped forward. "This wedding is over," she declared authoritatively. "You're welcome to enjoy the food while it's still hot. Please respect our privacy, and thank you all for understanding." The bloggers and influencers captured every moment. The bridesmaids and groomsmen didn't know whether to comfort the groom or shout at Brian. Suddenly, there was a commotion. Natasha had just fainted. The turn of events and accompanying shame had overwhelmed her. Her sister Karen and cousin came to support her, both still recovering from what had just transpired. Seemingly, she had hidden this from them too. Someone screamed from the back, "Amebant maze, afa tena pretend ati amepigwa na shock." A groomsman rushed with a bottle of Dasani water and poured it on her face. Her previously immaculate makeup and eyelashes slid off, her mascara streaming down her eyes like melting snow, as she gasped back to consciousness. Erick unfastened his coat and tossed it onto a chair, looking listlessly towards Natasha. Then he walked away. A few close friends followed, but most guests remained behind, digesting the scandal that had just unfolded before them. The DJ stopped playing the low, sweet wedding-themed romantic music. The buffet line turned into a gossip hub. Guests formed camps. Some said, "I always knew Brian was shady." Others blamed Erick for letting Brian too close. Where? This is why we said, Mutaachana too. The influencers continued sharing lives on their socials. And sorry to say this, but the reactions were priceless. One comment said, "I swear, Nakuru is a big bedroom." Another said, "Ati DNA test results at the altar." Where? Guy, kakugongewa ni Constant TV akimisi olewi. Most of those comments, though, were so disheartening, I couldn't even bear to share them here. By the next morning, local media stations were dissecting the event, with screenshots from the live stream chaos. The hashtag Bride Collapse Challenge trended for weeks and garnered over 10 million views. Erick went off the grid. He scrubbed all photos from his social media accounts. He left only one cryptic message: "Love is wicked," with a broken red heart emoji. Brian heartlessly dropped a post posting with a money caption, "Truth hurts, but he deserves it. No regrets." The audacity was so condescending. Social media was unforgiving. Kenyans on Twitter and all other socials were united, forming armies in Erick's defense. The comebacks towards Brian were relentless, roasting him black and crispy, until he pulled down the post. They pursued him until he finally closed all his social media accounts. Natasha posted a black rose on IG captioned, "I still love you, now and always. I am so sorry." She tried calling, texted Erick, even went to his apartment, kneeling at the front door crying while begging to be let in, but he refused to hear her out. When she persisted with her shenanigans, he rented the house out and moved to another unknown location. Natasha's parents took custody of Amani. Erick moved to Nairobi trying to disappear. The only problem with being famous is people don't forget you so easily. Whenever he appears anywhere, whispers follow him everywhere. Wa. Huyo ndo ule jamaa wa wedding drama. Aki amekonda mazee. They say when he passes. Erick is now toying with the idea of using plastic surgery to transform his facial appearance to help him gain a new identity. And so, fam, help me understand this because I still don't get it. Is there spiritual famine or drought out here? Because so many couples, so many families look perfect on social media, but are actually hiding huge cobwebs behind the scenes. And oh yes, go easy and lay low on the spicy and choppy jibes you drop so casually. Because the next time you say, "Mtaachana tu," to a lovey-dovey couple, you could be a prophet of doom. This is Walnut Stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, would you forgive that level of betrayal? Was Brian right to speak up on the wedding day? And do you think Natasha could have stood a chance if she had confessed earlier? This is Walnut of Walnut Stories. See you in the next one. Bye!